Hello, my YouTube family. I'm sure you all are doing good. Yes, another Friday, and we are back with another conversation with someone in the studio. Earlier, we used to say if you want to increase your knowledge and you want to get another edge in your life, then you should read books. But nowadays, I would say if you want to increase the spectrum of your knowledge, then you should watch and listen to podcasts. Because podcasts will give you a distilled information live. So I'm very honored to invite the guest today, Mr. Radhakrishna Hurulihalli. He is a head of technology, innovation and delivery at Infosys, but he would like to be recognized as life management coach, a transformer of youth's life. He also wrote a book about the fusion of science and life. We will talk more about it, so please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Radhakrishnan. You are someone whose spectrum of knowledge is very, very diversified, and you are someone who can be an advocate of life and technology.
I'm an innovative guy. Innovation doesn't mean that it is only restricted to the technology. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya parichati means Lord Krishna is asking everyone, you offer me patram means leaf, pushpam flower, phalam fruit, toyam water. Then it gave me a food for thought that life is not just about enjoyment. So that is the time when I thought, I should actually go to abroad. Pehla nasha, pehla kumar, naya pyar hai, naya intezar. Pehla nasha, pehla kumar. And she's a bachelor girl.
Okay.
Extremely beautiful.
So how did you control yourself and what exactly you did?
It's not that I'm not such a great man that I can control my senses. Yeah?
I hope she is watching this video right now.
Yeah, I don't know. She would be in Australia. Yeah. Always there was a pulling that why don't you enjoy? You are a free bird. But there were two things. One was my mother's love. Second one, I had seen my friend committing suicide, running after this.
Youth today, they are into hookups. Okay, one night stand.
Yes.
They also call road gigs, right? They are into, they don't want to get married. They don't want to have kids.
I have seen my friends getting into the romance and divorcing 2 times. Earned millions, spent millions in court.
15 to 19 years old girls are getting unsafe pregnancy abortions. So, sir, thank you so much for coming. Welcome to those casts of Beer Books.
Yeah, my pleasure. And coming here to the Whitefield and seeing such a big building you are dedicated for the podcast, I'm really amazed. Yeah, thank you so much for calling me. It's a wonderful opportunity to serve. And thank you.
Now, the pleasure is all mine. You are someone whose spectrum of knowledge is very, very diversified. And you are someone who can be an advocate of many aspects of life and technology. I'm talking about the cutting edge technologies. But I want to know more, what is more into you? Who is there inside, like a spiritual speaker or a technology expert? Or we can bring spirituality and technology together into this conversation. How do you describe yourself?
Yeah, so basically, if I can call myself in one word, I'm an innovative guy. Innovation doesn't mean that it is only restricted to the technology. Yeah, innovation can be described as anything where everyone have 3 things common. One is skills, talents, and facilities. I have certain skills, talents, and facilities. You have certain skills and talents and facilities. How can we uniquely utilize all those God-gifted skills, talent, facilities in the service, in the community service? everyone are innovative. Yeah. So someone who can innovatively serve the community in a better way to bring the smiles in the people. Yes, someone who can actually sacrifice their life, take courage to take inconveniences in their life. Yeah. So when I talk about myself, I'm a normal family man having two beautiful girls. They are all teenage. One is 18 and one is 15. And I'm married for last 20 years. And within this entire responsibility, in the midst of all the responsibility, I have been able to contribute to the technological world. I have been working in the technology field for last 26 years. Within midst of all challenging, the rat race, what we have, I have been able to contribute to the community. Yeah. So, I live in Mysore. Our house is kind of a unique house where we have a home in ground floor, and we have a 3,000 square feet, more than 3,000 square feet of space has been dedicated for the community. A house where hundreds of people come throughout the week, and we cook and serve them and spread the message of Bhagavad Gita, and keep everyone in a family atmosphere where we have one vision where bond everyone together under the shelter of love of Krishna.
Right. So since you're talking about the youth, the transforming the youth's life, even the concept of this channel is to help youth. Yeah. Right. That is the whole objective we have here. So we will just keep this conversation around youth's life and how we can contribute something that can transform a little bit in their life.
Yes.
Right. So I just have something like before we talk about the youth part, but I just want to understand when I was going through your profile, I got to know that you were in Australia. You have dual citizenship.
Yeah.
You are a Australian citizen, right?
Yeah.
As well. So entire world is running behind the opportunity to go to abroad, get settled down there. You went there, you came back.
Yeah.
What was the reason behind it?
Yeah, so like everyone, I too, I was looking to, go out and earn. When I did my engineering and I was looking for a job, my father said, you did engineering, took so much of trouble to study and, and I was very, very much studious, and always passed engineering semesters in distinctions and all those things. What is the use? You are not able to earn and create wealth. So that is the time when I thought, I should actually go to abroad. Yeah. So after doing my graduations, within 2 years, I got opportunity to go to Australia, and my complete focus of going to Australia was to see how can I maximize the enjoyment, thrill, of watching cricket and seeing the cricketing heroes. All those things were there, but when then it gave me a food for thought that life is not just about enjoyment. Beyond enjoyment, enjoyment always drill down to our own selfish way of maximizing our enjoyment capability without seeing the ecosystem in which we live.
Right.
Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya parachati means Lord Krishna is asking everyone, you offer me patram means leaf, pushpam flower, phalam fruit, toyam water. At least he has given so much in the nature for all of us to enjoy. He's asking a very, very least thing from all of us which everyone can do. Even a poor or a rich, anyone can do. And such a gratefulness, with which we are all living in this world. So, this transformed me, and, I utilized all skills I had in Australia to reach out to the community and, cook for the festivals. I started cooking for 10,000 people, 15,000 people like that. I went to Melbourne and I got attached to the Melbourne Krishna temple. And, through which medium I started cooking for, lots of festivals and, reach out to the community, give the message of Gita. And that transformed my life a lot. I used to work on the weekdays, and I always used to look for the weekends when is the time will come where I can go to the temple, I can meet friends, Indian families with which I can feel homely. There's a song, right? Pehla nasha, pehla kumar, naya pyar hai, naya intezar. So, this song is something where you are pretty much attracted to something, you want to go inside, and this was not something where I got a girl, but I got someone who was more valuable and superior and lovable, Krishna, so with which I could able to expand my horizon of serving to the community, and this was a medium which actually pulled me back to India. I could able to think that there's an opportunity to serve, opportunity to create wealth. If I stay back in Australia, I can create more and more and more wealth. But what is so important? I thought opportunity to serve, because I was, from my student days, I loved Mysore. I wanted to do something in Mysore. And while doing this service, I started feeling, how is that if I create a home which becomes a temple where everyone can come and they see my family with children and wife, and all of them are unitedly serving the community. It would be a wonderful example, because as soon as you see temple, you see a lot of men, monks, as soon as you think about temple, what picturizes everyone is monks. You get what I mean?
Right.
But here's a temple which is run by a family. And till today, I have not asked anyone a single penny. No donation box. Whatever I work, savings I do, I invest and create, service opportunities. So that is something, it pulled me back to India and Mysore, and, I saved all my wealth, especially for this, that when I'm going to. So I went to Australia at an age of 23. I came back at an age of 35.
Okay.
So 35 is some age where everyone looks to go. I had already planned to come back and do something.
So I have a few interesting things to ask about it. So in Australia, right, when you went there, you were unmarried, right? So I want to know the attraction, distraction, infatuation of young Radhakrishna ji at that time. How was your mindset at that time?
Yeah, sure. So, see, the thing is, attraction, I already told you. I really wanted to be with cricketing stars, and I took the house pretty much very, very near to the Melbourne cricket ground, and I had a mustache that time, and everyone used to get confused that I am Anil Kumble, and I will show you my younger photos. I look like Anil Kumble, so and I was a great fan of Dravid and Kumble,
Okay.
And at the same time, Michael Bevan, Michael Bevan,
of course,
all-rounder, and and Mark Vastiwa, I met them so many times. They were normal people in Australia. Cricketing stars are normal people. Like here, crazy. 1,000 people will be behind a career, and you won't even notice where is the cricketing star, because surrounded by people. In Australia, everything. So this was the attraction for me, going for the cricket and watching the matches. And till today also, I see the scores, although I stopped watching.
Did you watch the India-Pakistan match?
India-Pakistan,
crazy.
I watched the highlights, and
Virat Kohli was amazing.
And something which I really attracted Australia was this. And what is the next one?
Distraction.
Distraction.
I want to talk about, of course, you were very fascinated about the cricket, and you just said, I want to talk about the young Radhakrishna ji, because at that time, when you go to Australia, and I'm sure you are from a very small town of Karnataka as well, you went to Australia, when you see openness, when you see girls are around, you see that, of course, the hormones are changing inside.
Yes.
So how did you control yourself, and what exactly you did?
It's not that I'm not such a great man that I can control my senses. So one thing I want to share. So in Darwin, I lived with an Australian couple, and she, both were in the mid-50s, and they gave me a paying guest room. Paying guest room. I used to pay around $120 per week, and next to my paying guest room, they had another girl from Switzerland who had come, and she was staying. And it's a home with 2 rooms. I'm living in one room. She's living in the another room. And she's a bachelor girl.
Okay.
Extremely beautiful. The thing is, actually she was earning her money by doing massages. She was a massage therapist. She used to go to the Darwin market and she used to massage for nearly around 8 hours and she used to come back. I used to go to work. I'm an IT guy, and used to come back. There were a lot of opportunities if I really wanted to enjoy. One thing it really stopped me was my love to my mother. The promise I had given her while going to Australia. And the promise was that I'm going to earn money as early as possible and I'm going to come back and do something in India. And whenever there is an opportunity, definitely I had many opportunities. Within Darwin itself, I stayed in Darwin for 3 months. Only 3 months. She was also there. We went around, walked around. There was a lot of opportunities because Australia is an open world.
Yes, that's what I'm asking you.
So, and every time it used to pull, there's always there was a pulling that, why don't you enjoy? You are a free bird. But there were 2 things. One was my mother's love. Second one, I had seen my friend committing suicide, running after this. And 2 things which I really made me hold on. Your time will come. Everything has a time. So it's better to regulate yourself. A regulated life is better than, unregulated life. For example, take an example of Tendulkar, right? Tendulkar life is a regulated life. He could have enjoyed like anything. You could have done anything. Famous person, but regulated life. He married at a right age, focused what he wanted to do, achieved. That's very, very important for anyone who want to actually, serve the society in a meaningful way.
So did anybody approach you that, hey, before that, I just want to, Radhakrishna, people used to call you Radhakrishna, or you have any pet name?
Everyone used to call me Krishna there.
Krishna.
And when I came back to India, everyone are calling me Radha.
Radha.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that time, somebody said that, hey, Krishna, I like you, and let's go around.
Yeah, I can share that. Darwin, I was there for 3 months. Then, I was posted to Sydney. So then, I came to Sydney and, I was living in Hornsby. Hornsby is around 30 kilometers from the city. We had a company guest house where I was staying. But I used to work in North Sydney. North Sydney to Hornsby is around 30 kilometers. I used to go by train. One day after work, I actually finished my work and it was little late. For an Australian to work after 5,
it's late.
Everyone focuses. They leave 4:30 to 5. Everyone would be leaving from their workplace, going back, and girlfriends would have come to embrace them, and wife, all those things. Family, very family atmosphere in Australia. If you really want to have a work-life balance, go to Australia. So 7:30 I was working till 7:30, and I actually catch train from North Sydney to Hornsby. When I came to North Sydney station, just a walk, 1 minute walk, I went down the ventilator and came to the platform. Platform is around 150 meter length. Absolutely not a single person in the train station. And I just sat down and there was an Indian girl walked. She was studying in North Sydney TAFE. And she just came and she approached me. And we were the only 2. And, and we started talking, and she introduced herself that she has come from Chandigarh, and she's studying in TAFE in North Sydney. And, she asked me what you're doing, and I introduced myself and what I'm doing, and, all those things. And we spoke for nearly 15 minutes because the train didn't come, and, I was waiting for the train. And she was staying in a hostel in St. Leonard's. St. Leonard's is around 3 stations away from North Sydney, and I was staying in Hornsby. So then, we spoke for 20 minutes, and we got into the train, and her station came, and she was, you spoke for 20 minutes, young girl, around 17 to 18 year old, and I was 23, and she said, "Why don't you come tomorrow?" It was Saturday.
Okay.
And that time there was no mobile, and she just scrapped her number and she just gave it to me just before her station came. And she gave her name and the number and she left. So now again, I was in a duality. What should I do? Friday, I'm alone. Saturday, she said, I'm going to wait for you near the hostel in St. Leonard's. So one thing was, as a normal youngster, one thing was pulling me. Why don't you go and meet her? Yeah. Second thing was telling me, you have come for a purpose to Australia. Have you, focused on it? Have you built your career? It might be a distraction for you. Yeah. So, but how to control myself? Yeah. One, there's my mother's love, promise I had given. Second thing was the career. I need to establish myself, earn money, do something to the society. All those things were there. And, in the morning, I had the paper and I got ready. But somehow or the other, I felt I should not. But how to keep this attraction, the slip with the phone number, yeah? Name, slip and the phone number. Best way, I thought, tear it apart. And I just tore it. And I just put it in the bin. And I just went to my friend's place.
I hope she is watching this video right now.
Yeah, I don't know. She would be in Australia, yeah?
Yeah.
And I have seen my friends getting into the romance and, divorcing 2 times. Earned millions, spent millions in court. Yeah, when you split in Australia, you have to give half of your wealth. And what a waste of so much wealth you create. And meaninglessly you just spend over. You get what I mean?
Right. I have one thing I just want to talk about. So before that, I have a question here. How did you meet your wife? Like, is it love marriage or arranged marriage?
Yeah. So basically, when I went to Australia and, when I became so attracted to Krishna and going to the Krishna temple, all my relatives became very fearful. What is this guy doing? He's meant to, be a normal person. And, every time in the weekend, he says that I'm in the temple cooking. I'm in the temple with friends. I'm in the temple in the kirtan. What is happening? My parents were normally being a person, parents living in Shimoga, thousands of kilometers away. They don't know what is happening. They were really, worried about me, what is happening. And, basically, I married at the age of 28. 5 years I was a bachelor in Australia. But they were always thinking we should get married, marry him to a girl who can transform him back to the normal life. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone who is a modernized girl, someone who is a fashion girl, someone who can actually pull him back to the mainstream. You get what I mean? So, and I was always thinking I should marry a devotee girl. A girl who is a devotee to Krishna, who can actually help me in my endeavor to serve the community. But at the same time, the attachment to my parents, I succumbed that, I should actually listen to them. Let's see whatever happens in the life. And, I then, my parents only saw the girl and in Mysore. She's from Mysore. So, I just went one day. Whenever I used to come from Australia, I have only 1 month time. So you need to seek all the girls and somehow or the other finish. Yeah, you get what I mean?
Yes.
So I saw the girl and I told her a few things. Yeah, I wanted to be very open what I do. Yeah, because if you see that a boy, I still had mustache at that time. Yeah, I still used to ride my Enfield Bullet, with a masculine body and everything. Yeah, and girls will get a different picture of me. Yeah, he's in Australia and he's riding an Enfield Bullet and young boy. But I wanted to picturize them and tell them what I do. So I told them that I spend a lot of time doing the community services. Leisure time I cook and serve public. I am trying to help out those people who are completely into drug addiction to give them love through prasad. And somehow or the other sit with them and speak about lifestyle. All those things I do. I cook for festivals. I serve. Go to the temple. At the same time, few of the things I don't do. I have stopped watching films. The last film I watched was Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Yeah. So it was Kajal. I think Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah. Wonderful movie, there's no doubt about it. But somehow or the other, I thought I need to, with my likings I had, I could spend that time in a much better way to the community. So I told, I don't go to the films, I don't go to hotels, but I cook. I cook all the varieties. Look for pasta, pesto, or Italian, Mexican, Indian, gobi Manchurian, or anything you like. Yeah, I can cook at home and I can serve.
And that is the best thing you can say that, because a girl is looking at someone who can be a great cook.
Yeah. So, I see, one thing is about telling your restriction. At the same time, it's very, very important to tell what is the alternative you are giving. Yeah. So I told you about all the alternatives. I love nature. I can take to all the scenic places. We can go together. So she agreed. And we got married 3 days after meeting her in the court.
Okay.
Legally married. And the first gift I got her was the chanting beads. Chanting beads?
Yeah, of course.
The beads where you chant the names of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I took her to the temple.
Right.
I gave her the chanting bead. I can give you anything most opulent things of this world, but nothing more opulent than remembering Krishna.
So, sir, why I'm talking about the marriage and everything, there's a reason behind it. Since we are talking about the youth and everything, all these things are happening around. Today's generation is losing the value and the emotional ground of relationships, right? If you see youth today, they are into hookups, okay, one night stand. They also call road gigs, right? They are into, they don't want to get married. They don't want to have kids. So even predominantly, if you see, a lot of divorces, cases are happening, right? What could be the reason behind it? When you see, you have seen the life in Australia, you have seen the life in India as well. What changes do you see that why young generation is doing this?
So see, actually, it's very, very important to have higher principles in life. That's why in Bhagavad Gita it teaches Vishaya vinivartante niraharasatena rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. We have lower tendencies in our life. Everyone. Our lower tendencies, higher tendencies. Higher tendencies motivates you to serve, be tolerant, be grateful, be affectionate, be loving. Lower tendencies pollute, gratify, beg, borrow, steal. Don't worry about your ecosystem in which you live. Don't care about others. What is important is you enjoy. You get what I mean? So in today's world, what is happening is with the advent of modern technologies, there is nothing to complain about modern technology. It's all about how we utilize them. We can utilize them for proper purposes. Everything is, there is a harm, negative and positive effect of it. It all depends upon the consciousness with which we utilize that. So driven by the entertainment of today's world, many youngsters are losing the higher purposes, culture, what we have, and everyone are fast paced. The rat race, people do not have time. People work, morning, they run to work and they come back at night. Wife is also working, husband is also working, both don't cook at home. They order from Swiggy, Zomato and all, and pretty much they don't have a quality time with each other, and not even having a proper understanding of what is the higher purpose of coming together. There's a responsibility involved. There is a song, right? You might have heard this. Hum tere bin ab reh nahi sakte, tum hi ho. Have you heard this?
Yes.
Now today it has changed. Love at first sight, right? You sing this. But now it has changed to Hum tere saath ab reh nahi sakte. You fast love. Love at first sight. And divorce at first sight. This is something which is happening in today's world, and you see that it's rapidly changing. And the reason, everyone are looking into what in it for me. And that's why Bhagavad Gita teaches us lots of value education. Yeah, lots of value education. Bhagavad Gita says, Yatato api kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramatiti haranti prasabam manaha. Means yatato api kaunteya. Everyone tries. Yeah. Purushasya vipaschitaha, an intelligent person, everyone want to have a regulated life. But indriyani pramatiti. Pramatiti means the demands of our senses are so high. Haranti prasabam manaha. Even an intelligent person who wants to control his mind, he gives it up. Yeah? That's why it's very, very important that who is the, sometimes, who is a person who is, you can say, a person who is more stronger person. Strength of the person comes through an ability to control. Yeah, because we have seen greatest of the greatest people in this world who are wealthiest, who are up in the sky, fell down within seconds because of one small mistake they did, because of weaker senses. Yeah, to judge, to make decisions. You get what I mean? I don't want to go into the details, but you could. I think.
No, I can understand. Yeah.
So it's very, very important that we actually. Marriage means there's a responsibility. It is not about just romance. Actually, the entertainment world gives a message that the love means everything is about just roaming around the park and sing and dance and enjoy life. But there's a higher principles which is involved, which is to serve. So when we have only the aim of our married life is to enjoy each other, how much we will be able to enjoy? I can look at your face, you can look at my face. Yeah. But if it is only aim of our life is to, extract each other, there is a time where everything dwindles down. It's the nature of this material world. So we need to see the higher principles where we can accommodate larger family life, communities.
But how we can develop these things in the youth? Of course, the things which you're talking about, it has a value, it has a proper sense that how we can make sure that we can have the long-lasting partnership as a married couple. But my question is, looking at the youth right now, they are having one-night stand. Like they do not give the value to the relationships and to the attachment. Even you can say they are not very much attached with the family as well.
Yes.
How we can develop? Do you think Bhagavad Gita can develop that sense of responsibility?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And another thing that I want to tell you that, if you see the report I was going through, I'm just going to work on one research right now. Teenage right now, 15 to 19 years old girls are getting unsafe pregnancy abortions. It is the data, if you talk about the data in 2008, it was 67%. Right now, it says 144% of this. How we can educate the youth that, hey, please try to understand that life is not just roaming around these sex and physical need. There are something beyond that. Yeah. And I also believe that, if you see the other countries, I discussed this thing with Nutan as well, I will discuss with you, that right now I believe that other countries are trying to provoke all those things into Indian culture because India has such a great youth generation right now. Yes. All the other countries are getting old, but they want to destroy India to put this kind of pollute the mind of the generation. Yes. Right? So how we have to address this part, how we can make sure our generation is okay.
So just before coming to this interview, I think nearly 32 hours back, I spent 4 hours with a girl who was committing suicide, almost. And she's an unknown girl. Someone told that there's a temple here. There's a person here who can counsel you. So they gave me address. So she came down. She had almost committed suicide. Yeah, she was pushed to our house. She came, and I spent around 4 hours. Yeah, it's a unconventional love she had, not with a boy, but with a girl. She had spent, and the girl already is married. Yeah, And what a disturbance, chaos. Falling in love with a girl who is already married, yeah, and they have children, and such a disturbance. She was depressed, and I spent around 4 hours trying to speak to her and console her and tell this is not the aim of life. This is not the aim of life. And where actually I have come from is Australia. Yeah, in Australia at an age of 12, they are given a caravan. Caravan means a independent house behind your backyard.
Yeah.
Most of the girls or the boy live there, and the parents would be proud that girl or boy are found their boyfriend or girlfriend. If you don't find a girlfriend or a boyfriend, it is a mental stress at an age of 13 if you don't have a girl or a boy. Yeah?
That is a culture they have?
That's a culture everywhere in the Western world. Yeah. And they are so proud to share that my 13-year-old girl got a boyfriend. Yeah. So, but I have seen when I was living in the temple, means when I was going to the temple, and I used to go at 4:30 in the morning. In the 4:30 in the morning, the Australians, yeah, they would have had beer and all the intoxication, drugs, everything. 4:30 they come and just fall in the temple and they sleep down. Yeah. And you wake them up at 8 o'clock and speak to them, and 99% of the situations where they were stressed out, depressed, drunk like anything, and fallen in the temple, because our temple was in North Sydney, and there was lots of pubs and everything around. 99% was of the fallen, failed love affair, where a boy has promised the girl and she ran away, or a girl promised the boy, ran away. A failed love affair, yeah, and he's so depressed. I've seen, the boy or a girl at an age of 22, they would have already have so many girlfriends and boyfriends, yeah. But they come down, and when they see this culture that is being given through Bhagavad Gita, and they transform themselves. They see that regulated life is very, very satisfying. Unregulated life, where you just roam around wherever your mind pulls you to, it is very disturbing. Very disturbing.
So since we are just gonna move to another agenda of this conversation here, since we are talking about the youth, I'm noticing another challenge of employment issues in the youth part. And since you have been into the industry for quite a long time, you have seen all different kind of people, youth, everything. What is the psychology and the philosophy behind relatives and neighbors to irritate the youth who are unemployed? They keep asking these questions about their joblessness. How we can address that part? Because youth is suffering because of this.
Yes. See, it's a culture in India. Yeah, in a culture in India is a mainstream. You need to study. As soon as you get graduation, you need to get employment. Yeah. As soon as you get an employment, you need to save money. You need to get married. It's a wonderful journey, no doubt about it. But some people, may not be in the mainstream. For example, Nutan, right? He was doing MBBS. He did medical for 1 year. He rejected it. He said, my mind is not getting attracted to this medical science. I need to do something in engineering. He took up engineering. Crazy. For the entire world, it looks unconventional and crazy. But for this boy, he wanted to achieve something. A burning desire to achieve something. Yeah. So very, very important is aim of life is not to become employed. Aim of life is to employ. There are two differences, employ and employed. Employ is where you can create job opportunities. Employed, where you get a conventional way, you do your degree and get a job in some company, and you become work under a boss. Working under a boss is not a very, very satisfying and enjoying things, because you just do what your boss says. Yeah. But what opportunity you have when you do not have job? For example, what opportunity you have when you are not married? In every youth, do not get demotivated that I don't have a job. Getting a job in Infosys or TCS or a Wipro or a Cognizant, is not a aim of life. Aim of life is to unearth your passion. Don't work for pension. Work for passion. I recognize, it is not a bad thing to work for a bigger company. It's not at all bad. I have been working conventionally for last 26 years for companies. I've only changed 3 times my companies. Infosys I have been working now for last 13 years. Before that I worked for National Australia Bank in Melbourne and Sydney. Before that I worked for AXA Australia. These are the only 3 companies I've worked for last 26 years. But what is within my corporate world also, I was never happy if someone is giving me a job to me. I said, I want to create my own job. I want to find my own client. I want to develop my own product. I want to service in a way where I think I can do best. That's why I'm in innovation. Right. I think anything, very differently. Yeah. And I have created products today which is revenue generating for Infosys. Yeah, lots of revenues, new clients have come. So everyone have immense opportunities because today technological world has given such an opportunity to everyone. World has become small. So look at the problems we have. You don't need to be an IT guy. Identify a problem. Find a partner who is an IT guy. Come together, create something, and introduce to the world. There are so many consumers who are there who can create work.